The Galactic Council chamber was filled with light and voices. Hundreds of alien delegates sat in a ring, their bodies of different shapes and colors moving nervously. In the center stood a single human representative. His name was Admiral Ryan Holt, and he was the last human voice allowed to speak in the council. For years, the galaxy had debated the place of humanity. Other species feared them. They were too aggressive, too adaptable, too willing to take risks no other race would even attempt. When the council discovered that humanity had begun building fleets without permission, the decision was made. Humanity was dangerous. Humanity must be banished. Admiral Holt stood tall, his voice calm but edged with iron. "You call us violent," he said. "But who defended your borders when the Scythe swarm attacked? Who saved your colonies from the Black Plague? Humanity did. And now you cast us out like trash." The hall filled with hisses, growls, and whispers. A massive insectoid, alien, clicked its mandibles. "Humans are a threat. You fight among yourselves endlessly. You build weapons even when warned not to. You are too dangerous to stand beside the peaceful races of this council." "Peaceful?" Holt laughed bitterly. "You fear us because we do not bend so easily. You fear us because we survive where you would perish." But the decision had already been made. The speaker of the council, a tall avian creature with silver feathers, spread its wings and gave the final judgment. "By order of the Galactic Council, humanity is banished. Earth is cut off from the trade routes. No technology shall be given. No allies shall remain. You are cast to the edge of the stars. Forgotten." Guards entered. Holt clenched his fists, but he did not resist. He turned once more to the ring of alien leaders. His final words echoed through the chamber. "You will regret this. Humanity does not die in the dark. We grow in it." The exile began. Earth's trade lines went silent. Alien merchants stopped coming. Colonies that once relied on outside supplies faced starvation. The council believed humanity would collapse within decades. Many aliens even celebrated, saying the problem of humans had been solved without war. But they were wrong. On Earth, life grew harder, yet humans adapted. Factories that once built civilian goods were turned to making starship parts. Farmers pushed new crops from poor soil. Engineers learned to recycle every scrap of metal, every drop of water, every bit of energy. Humanity, trapped and abandoned, did what it always had done. They endured. Generations passed. Children grew up hearing the story of betrayal. They were taught how the galaxy feared humans, how the council had cast them out. Instead of breaking, their spirit, the memory, lit a fire. Humanity became united as never before. Nations that once fought each other now stood side by side. A single banner was created, the Solar Dominion. The Dominion's leaders promised their people that Earth would not be forgotten, nor would humanity ever kneel again. Far from the core worlds of the galaxy, humanity explored the dark regions where no alien dared to travel. They discovered ruined stars, shattered planets, and resource-rich nebulae. Where others saw danger, humans saw opportunity. Colonies rose on frozen moons. Shipyards grew in the shadows of black holes. Great engines hummed in hidden space, forging fleets no outsider ever saw. Stories spread among the exiled people. They called themselves the Forgotten, but they also called themselves the Builders. They believed they had been given a gift, freedom from the Council's control. Without alien laws holding them back, humanity created weapons and ships beyond imagination. But in those early years, life was not easy. A boy named Darius lived in one of the first exile colonies, on a barren moon, orbiting a dying star. His parents told him about Earth, its oceans, its forests, its bright skies. But Darius only knew rock, dust, and endless machinery. Every day he worked with others to mine metals from the ground. It was harsh and many died, but no one gave up. One night when Darius looked up at the black sky, he asked his father, "Why do they hate us? Why did they cast us away?" His father, old and tired but proud, answered, "Because we scare them, son. We are different." We don't give up when things are hard. We fight when others run. That is why they banished us. But remember this, they cannot erase us. We will rise again. Those words became a quiet promise, passed from one generation to the next. Meanwhile, the rest of the galaxy slowly forgot about humanity. Alien historians wrote that the humans had likely perished. Some believed Earth was nothing but ruins now. Few even spoke the word human. But in the deep dark, humans never stopped working. Their ships grew larger. Their weapons grew sharper. Their colonies thrived in places other species could not survive. They were preparing, though they did not yet know for what. 1,000 years after the exile, an alien merchant ship strayed too far into the forgotten regions. Its crew was searching for rare minerals, but instead they found something terrifying. Floating before them was a massive human warship, unlike anything seen before. Its armor was dark as night, its weapons glowing with strange energy. The alien crew panicked, recording everything before fleeing. They carried tales back to the galaxy. Humanity lives. Humanity builds. Humanity waits. Most dismissed it as rumor. After all, the humans were banished, forgotten, and left to die. How could they now build warships that dwarfed anything in the council fleets? It was impossible. Yet fear crept into the hearts of those who listened. If the rumors were true, then the galaxy had not seen the last of the humans. Instead, it had only given them time to grow stronger. On Earth itself, now the heart of the solar dominion, great towers rose into the skies. Starships launched daily, carrying settlers, soldiers, and dreamers into the unknown. Humanity no longer looked weak. They no longer looked desperate. They looked ready. And deep within the Dominion's capital, leaders gathered in a vast chamber. Maps of the galaxy shimmered in the air before them. Red markers showed the worlds of the Galactic Council. Blue markers showed human colonies spreading like wildfire. One voice spoke, calm and steady. The galaxy forgot us. They thought we would vanish. Instead, we have built something greater than they ever imagined. The day will come when they see us again. On that day, they will know the cost of betrayal. Humanity had been banished. Humanity had been forgotten. But now, humanity was preparing to return. The stars beyond known space were cold and silent. Most alien species avoided them. The Council declared them too dangerous, filled with dead suns, unstable wormholes, and planets that could not support life. To the galaxy, those regions were a graveyard. But to humanity, they were opportunity. Generations after the exile, the solar dominion stretched far beyond Earth. It was no longer one planet struggling to survive. It was a web of colonies, shipyards, and hidden fortresses. Where others saw nothing, humans carved a home. On a frozen world called Vera Prime, storms howled across the ice. The air was toxic, the sky never clear. No alien had ever settled there. Yet deep under the ice, human engineers had hollowed out caverns the size of cities. There they built their first true forge. Vast reactors glowed blue in the dark. Machinery thundered as metals were shaped, melted, and reforged. Workers wore thick suits, their faces covered, their hands calloused from endless labor. Each ship that rolled from the assembly docks was stronger than the last. Captain Mara Keen, commander of one of the Dominion's new fleets, walked among the workers. Her boots echoed on the steel floors as she looked up at the massive skeleton of a warship under construction. Its hull stretched longer than a city. Weapons the galaxy had never seen before were being mounted on its sides. "This is not just a ship," she said quietly to her crew. "This is a message. Every rivet, every cannon, every piece of steel, it all says the same thing. Humanity was not broken. Humanity was reforged." The Dominion did not stop at one forge. Around dying stars, they built orbital rings that harvested rare minerals from solar winds. Around black holes, they placed great stations that drew endless energy from the abyss. Each new frontier was more dangerous than the last, yet humans thrived there. Children grew up in these colonies, never knowing Earth's blue skies or forests. Instead, they learned to walk in gravity tunnels, to wear breathing masks, to read the flickering lights of reactor cores as if they were stars themselves. For them, survival was not a struggle, it was life itself. And because of that, every new generation of humans grew tougher, sharper, and more inventive. Far away, in the halls of the Galactic Council, most species no longer spoke of humans at all. To them, humanity was still a forgotten people, lost in the dark. A few scholars raised questions. They wondered what had truly become of Earth after the exile, but no fleets were sent to check. The galaxy was busy with its own wars and politics. The humans, they believed, were long gone. That belief would not last much longer. One day, a small alien trading vessel drifted too far into the dark sectors. Its captain, a lizard-like being named Koresh, was searching for new resources to sell. He had heard rumors of valuable metals hidden in the forgotten zones. For weeks, his ship scanned lifeless rocks and dead systems. Then his crew saw something impossible. Hanging in orbit above a barren moon was a fleet, not a handful of ships, but hundreds. Their armor gleamed black as obsidian, their engines burned white-hot, and their size dwarfed any warship Koresh had ever seen. At the center floated a colossus, an enormous carrier that looked more like a moving city than a ship. Koresh panicked. His crew recorded every image, every signal before turning their ship around at full speed. As they fled, a human voice crackled over their comms, speaking in the old galactic tongue. "Leave this place. Tell your masters we are ready." The alien crew said nothing. Fear froze them. When they finally returned to council space, they told their story. Few believed them. The council dismissed it as lies, saying no human fleet could exist. But whispers spread. What if humanity had not perished? What if the Forgotten Forge was real? Meanwhile, inside the Dominion, the growth continued. On the planet Syndral's Forge, a world covered in molten rivers, humans built factories powered by volcanoes. On the asteroid chains of Brack's Belt, they created hidden shipyards camouflaged by dust storms. Every corner of the exile zone was being turned into a weapon. The Dominion's High Council, seated on Earth, watched their empire expand on star maps. Each new marker was a colony, a fortress, or a fleet. "We are no longer exiles," spoke Chancellor Avalon, an elder who had lived through the harshest years. "We are no longer forgotten. We are something new. We are the rulers of the dark." Young pilots were trained not only to fly ships, but to survive in impossible conditions. They learned how to fight in vacuum, how to land on unstable planets, how to repair their ships with nothing but scrap. These humans were not like the old kind the Council had exiled. They were harder, sharper, relentless. Captain Mara Keen often addressed her cadets with the same words. "Do not think of yourselves as victims. We were banished, yes. We were cast aside. But what do we do when we are thrown into fire? We forge ourselves into steel." The cadets shouted back in unison, their voices echoing through the training halls. "Steel that cannot break." Then came the day the Dominion tested its might. A rival alien empire, unaware of how powerful humanity had become, sent raiders into the exile zone. They thought they would find weak colonies to plunder. Instead, they stumbled upon a Dominion fortress world. When the raiders attacked, Dominion fleets emerged from hidden slipspace gates. The battle was short. Human ships moved with precision, their weapons striking with terrifying accuracy. Entire alien squadrons were reduced to ash before they could even retreat. The few survivors fled, their screams carrying warnings through the galaxy. This time, the Council could not ignore the truth. Humanity was not gone. Humanity was stronger than ever. In the aftermath, the Dominion celebrated. Fireworks lit the skies above Earth for the first time in centuries. The people cheered, their voices united across thousands of worlds, but their leaders remained cautious. Chancellor Avalon stood before the great council of humanity and spoke. "The galaxy now knows we live. They will send spies. They will send armies. But let them come. We have built our empire in silence. Now we will show them the power of the Forgotten Forge." The chamber erupted in thunderous applause. Humanity's shadow fleets prepared for what was coming. In the darkness of space, a single message was sent across the stars. It was simple, written in words every alien could understand. The Banished return. Humanity had been thrown into exile. They had been forgotten. But now, with the forges burning and fleets ready, they would no longer wait. The galaxy was about to remember them. The galaxy did not believe. Whispers of human fleets spread like wind through the stars. Yet the great empires of the Galactic Council laughed them off. Some said the aliens who claimed to see massive human warships were lying to stir fear. Others claimed the humans were scavengers who had stolen scraps and welded them together. The Council, proud and arrogant, declared, "Humanity is weak. Humanity is fractured. Humanity cannot stand against the galaxy." But on the edges of space, the truth waited. The first strike began not with humans, but with aliens. The Varkon Empire, a warrior species with reptilian scales and sharp fangs, sought to expand its territory. They heard rumors of small human colonies holding resources in the exile zone. To them, humans were still the broken race of old, banished and forgotten, unable to defend themselves. "Take their colonies," the Varkon Emperor hissed to his generals. "Burn their homes. Bring me their slaves. Show the galaxy that humans are nothing." A fleet of 30 warships left Varkon space, their cannons armed and ready. Their destination, a small human mining colony on Rathos 4, a rocky world filled with iron and crystal. Life on Rathos 4 was quiet. Families worked in mines, hauling resources to the surface where ships carried them to the Dominion's hidden forges. The colony had little defense. At least, that was what the Varkons believed. When the alien fleet entered orbit, the skies filled with fire. The colony's alarm screamed and people rushed for shelters. General Tarvek, commander of the Varkon fleet, sneered as he watched from his flagship. Pathetic. No defenses at all. End this quickly. His ships began bombarding the colony. Explosions ripped through mining stations. Dust and fire rose into the sky. The Varkons laughed, believing victory was theirs. But then the stars changed. Without warning, space itself seemed to tear open. Massive gates of light burst to life above Rathos 4. From them emerged ships, hundreds of them. They were human warships, sleek and dark, their hulls glowing with blue lines of power. They moved in perfect formation, silent and steady, like predators circling prey. General Tarvek froze. His laughter died. What is this?" A voice came over the comms, sharp and cold. "This is the Dominion fleet. You attacked our people. Now you face judgment." The human commander, Captain Mara Keen, stood on the bridge of the warship Iron Rain. Her eyes burned with fury as she gave the order, "Engage." The battle that followed shocked the galaxy. Human ships struck with precision. Their weapons were not the crude missiles and lasers the Council remembered from the old days. These were new creations, rail cannons that could pierce through warship armor in a single shot, energy beams that sliced like blades, and swarms of drones that danced between enemy fire. The Varkon fleet, though fierce, was unprepared. Their ships were larger, heavier, but clumsy compared to the humans' swift maneuvers. One by one, the alien warships exploded, torn apart by relentless fire. On the ground below, the people of Rathos 4 watched the sky. At first they had feared destruction, but now they cheered. For the first time in centuries, humans were not prey. They were the hunters. General Tarvek tried to rally his forces. "Fight back, they are only humans." But his words meant nothing. His fleet was being destroyed before his eyes. He turned to flee, ordering his flagship to retreat. Yet the Dominion ships were faster. Captain Mara's voice came through once more. "You came to enslave us. You came to burn our homes. Now you will carry a message back to your emperor." Her ship fired. The Varkon flagship's engines were crippled but not destroyed. Mara spared it deliberately. She wanted survivors to return. She wanted the galaxy to know. Hours later, the Varkon fleet was gone. Out of 30 ships, only 3 limped away, broken and burning. They carried with them the memory of humanity's return. The mining colony was saved. Families emerged from shelters staring at the human fleet above. Many wept with joy. Others simply stood in awe. On the bridge of the Iron Rain, Captain Mara looked at her crew. Today we showed them. We are not forgotten. We are not weak. We are the Dominion. Her crew saluted, their faces shining with pride. When news of IOE, the battle reached the wider galaxy, panic spread. The Varkon survivors described ships larger than anything in Council space. They spoke of weapons that tore through fleets like paper. They told of a disciplined human armada that had risen from the shadows. At first, the Council tried to deny it. They called it exaggeration, a story made larger in fear. But soon, merchant ships began reporting sightings of massive human fleets moving in the dark sectors. Spies whispered of forges burning under dead suns, of shipyards hidden in asteroid belts. The whispers could no longer be ignored. The Speaker of the Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. Alien leaders filled the chamber, their voices filled with dread. "This cannot be true," hissed one. "Humans were supposed to die in exile," growled another. "If they have fleets like this, then we are all in danger." The council debated, but fear had already rooted itself in their hearts. Humanity had struck, and the galaxy trembled. Back in the Dominion, the victory sparked fire in the hearts of the people. Across Earth and the colonies, celebrations erupted. Children learned of Rathos IV as the first battle of humanity's return. Soldiers sang songs of triumph. Workers in the forges cheered as they built even greater ships, but the leaders of the Dominion did not let pride blind them. Chancellor Avalon stood before the Dominion High Council and declared, "This was only the beginning. The galaxy now knows we live. They will come against us with fear and with fury. We must be ready. We will not wait for them to strike again. We will take the fight to them." Captain Mara Keen was summoned to Earth. In the great chamber of the Dominion, she stood before the council. "You saved Rathos IV," Chancellor Avalon told her. "But now you will lead something greater. A fleet not of defense, but of conquest. The galaxy banished us, the galaxy forgot us, now the galaxy will kneel." Mara bowed her head. Her voice was steady, but inside her blood burned with pride. "I will lead them. I will make the galaxy remember." And so, the Dominion fleets prepared. Shipyards roared with new engines. Soldiers trained day and night. Colonies forged weapons, faster than ever before. Humanity was not only returning, they were ready to dominate. The first strike had been made. The galaxy had seen its first glimpse of the new humanity. But soon, they would see the full force. The news traveled faster than any ship. Across the stars, alien leaders whispered in fear. Humanity had struck once, and the galaxy now knew. The exiled humans were not weak. They were not lost. They were an unstoppable force rising from the dark. For centuries, species had lived comfortably, believing humanity could never return. They had forgotten the toughness of humans, the ingenuity of humans, the survival instinct that had carried Earth's people through wars, plagues, and exile. Now the galaxy trembled. In the council chamber, panic had taken hold. Alien delegates ran simulations on glowing screens, their multi-eyed faces reflecting dread. Every star map told the same story. The Dominion fleets were expanding. Hidden bases, secret shipyards, and colonies spread like wildfire. Intelligence reports suggested human ships outnumbered most Empire's fleets combined. "Impossible," hissed a Scythe swarm delegate. Its chitin creaked. The humans were supposed to be scattered, their population weak, their technology limited. How did they grow this fast? "They were left alone," a smaller alien whispered. "They had centuries in the shadows. They adapted. They built weapons we cannot even imagine. And now they are awake." Meanwhile, humanity moved with precision. Fleet commanders coordinated across light years. Supply lines ran like clockwork. Colonies communicated instantly using quantum relays. The Solar Dominion was no longer a group of exiles. It was an empire. Captain Mara Keene stood on the bridge of the Iron Rain, watching a new sector come online. The stars stretched around her as if alive. Every planet in this region had been surveyed, fortified, or colonized. Her first officer, Lieutenant Joran, approached. "Captain, scouts report an alliance fleet forming near the Xylar system. They plan to strike at one of our outer colonies." Mara's eyes narrowed. "Let them come. They will learn what we have built in the shadows." The galaxy's empires had made a terrible mistake. They underestimated humanity's patience. While alien fleets moved quickly to attack, human fleets struck faster. Ships appeared from hidden gates, surrounding enemy forces. Alien commanders were stunned. Their formations were thrown into chaos. Every move the humans made was calculated. They did not attack blindly. They struck with precision, crippling engines, neutralizing weapons, and forcing enemy ships to surrender before annihilation. Those who tried to flee often found themselves trapped. As Dominion fleets emerged from slipspace gates no one knew existed. For the first time, the galaxy began to see a terrifying truth. Humanity had mastered not only survival, but strategy. On one key world, Orvath Prime, the largest gathering of alien leaders convened in secret. Representatives of the Varkon Empire, the Scythe Swarm, and the Feathered Avian Kingdom argued over what to do. "We must unite," screamed General Drak of Varkon. "If we face them separately, humanity will crush us one by one." "Unite?" hissed the Scythe Swarm delegate. "We tried before. They defeated our fleets in hours. Even together, can we survive against such precision, such technology?" Avian Queen Lyra, her silver feathers trembling, leaned forward. "We cannot fight what we do not understand. Humanity was weak. Humanity was alone. But they are no longer. Every colony, every ship, every soldier, they are trained to fight as one. We may already be too late." Back in human space, the Dominion celebrated victories but remained vigilant. Fleet commanders studied intelligence reports from across the galaxy. Colonies that had once seemed unimportant were reinforced. New weapons were tested. Every planet, moon, and asteroid was prepared for war, though humanity sought not destruction, but respect. Chancellor Avalon addressed the High Council of the Dominion. His voice carried across the chamber, calm but unyielding. "The galaxy has forgotten us. They have laughed at us. But we were never weak. The time has come to remind them why humans endure. They will feel our strength, not to destroy, but to command respect. The era of humanity begins now." On the outer rim, Mara Keene led her fleet toward a region known as the Dread Void, where several alien forces had gathered to prepare a counterattack. The Void was infamous for its unstable stars and gravitational anomalies, places where alien ships often became lost. But humans had mapped every detail. "Sensors show enemy fleet ahead," Lieutenant Joran reported. "They have 20 warships forming a blockade near the asteroid belt." Mara smiled. "They believe they can stop us. Let them learn why humanity is never so easily stopped." The Dominion fleet moved silently. As the enemy ships opened fire, Mara's ships struck in perfect coordination. Alien lasers were deflected. By energy shields, their missiles intercepted by drone swarms. One by one, the enemy vessels were disabled. The battle lasted less than an hour, yet the galaxy would talk about it for decades. Every victory spread fear. Trade routes once controlled by alien empires were now patrolled by Dominion ships. Colonies that had been isolated sent messages of alliance, eager to join humanity's growing power. Species that once mocked humans now quietly sought friendship, fearing their wrath if ignored. On Vera Prime, workers in hidden forges paused to watch the news. Another fleet had been destroyed. Another empire humbled. The forges roared louder as engineers built even larger ships. Humanity had begun to dominate the galaxy, not by force alone, but by vision, skill, and unity. Back at the Galactic Council, debates turned to chaos. Old rivalries erupted as species blamed each other for failing to contain humanity. Some argued for diplomacy, others called for preemptive strikes. "This is madness," shouted one delegate. We cannot fight them together. Every fleet we send is destroyed. Every plan we make is anticipated. Humanity is everywhere, and they are stronger than all of us combined. But if we do nothing, hissed another, we will lose everything. Their fleets will take our worlds. They will not stop until we submit. For the first time in history, the Council feared a single species above all others: humans. In the Dominion capital on Earth, Chancellor Avalon watched the galaxy with calm eyes. They have seen us, he told his advisors. They know what we are capable of. But the galaxy still underestimates us. They still think fear is enough to stop us. Captain Marakeen stood beside him. The first strikes are finished. We have shown them our power. But this is only the beginning. We can take the initiative now, before they recover. Avalon nodded. Yes, humanity will not wait for the galaxy to bow. We will show them the cost of underestimating us. The Dominion's fleets grew larger. Hidden bases supplied weapons, engineers refined new ships, and training academies prepared soldiers for combat. Every victory, every battle, added to humanity's legend. The first strike had been a warning. The second strike would be decisive. And the galaxy could no longer pretend humans were weak, exiled, or forgotten. Across the stars, whispers spread. The Banished are back, and they are not alone. Humanity had survived exile. Humanity had built in the shadows. Humanity now commanded fear and respect. The galaxy trembled, not because humans had attacked, not because humans were violent, but because humans had endured, and endurance meant power beyond imagining. The galaxy had seen the rise of humanity. First, the whispers. Then, the strikes. Finally, fleets of unimaginable power moved through the dark sectors, carrying the banners of the Solar Dominion. But even as the empires of the Galactic Council scrambled in fear, humanity's leaders remained calm. They had waited centuries for this moment. The exiled humans were no longer scattered and weak. They were united, disciplined, and ready to take their place as rulers of the stars. On Earth, the Dominion High Council convened in the largest chamber ever built. Holographic star maps filled the room, glowing with red markers showing alien strongholds and blue markers representing Dominion fleets. Every fleet, every colony, every outpost had been prepared for this moment. Chancellor Avalon, standing at the head of the council, addressed the room. The galaxy once cast us aside. They laughed at us. They believed we would fade into dust. But we did not. We endured. We built. We prepared. And now, the galaxy will bow to the Solar Dominion, not out of fear alone, but because they know the cost of challenging humanity. The council erupted in applause. Soldiers, engineers, diplomats, all felt the weight of centuries lifting from their shoulders. Humanity had survived exile, and now it would rule. In orbit above the war-torn planet Orvath Prime, Captain Marakeen led the largest Dominion fleet yet assembled. Thousands of ships, ranging from nimble fighters to massive dreadnoughts, gleamed under the twin suns. Her flagship, the Iron Rain, cut through space like a predator, commanding attention from every human and alien alike. Lieutenant Joran stood beside her. Captain, reports from across the sector indicate alien fleets are attempting to coordinate against us. They are desperate. Mara smiled. Let them try. We have studied every move they could make. Humanity does not fight blindly. Humanity fights as one. The Dominion fleet moved forward, not with hesitation but with precision and confidence. Across the galaxy, the empires had realized too late that human strategy was unmatched. Every attempt to resist was met with devastating force. Entire alien fleets surrendered without a fight once they understood the scale of the Solar Dominion. For centuries, they had underestimated humanity, thinking survival alone was weak. Now survival had been forged into mastery, and mastery had become power. On the planet Varkon Prime, the Varkon Emperor watched from his throne as reports came in. Worlds were being liberated or captured. Entire fleets had been destroyed or captured. How? How is this possible? He whispered, his claws trembling. They are everywhere. They are stronger than all of us combined. It was true. Humanity had not only caught up with the galaxy, they had surpassed it. When the Galactic Council finally realized the danger, they attempted to negotiate. A delegation of alien leaders traveled to Earth under truce flags. They hoped to reason with humanity before all their worlds fell. Chancellor Avalon received them personally. The chamber was silent as leaders who had once mocked and exiled humans now knelt in the presence of the rulers of the stars. "You come seeking peace," Avalon said calmly. "Yet for centuries you cast us aside. You declared us weak. You forgot us. Now you see what you created. The question is simple. Will you kneel and acknowledge the solar dominion, or will you face the consequences?" The aliens were speechless. Many had underestimated humans. Now every mind knew they had miscalculated. The galaxy had created the very power it had feared. Humanity did not seek needless destruction. Planets were not burned indiscriminately. Colonies were not enslaved. Those who submitted were integrated into the Dominion, allowed to keep their homes and cultures under the protection of humanity's fleet. Captain Mara Keen stood on the bridge of the Iron Rain, observing a captured alien fleet. The ships were damaged but intact. "Do we destroy them?" asked Lieutenant Joran. "No," Mara replied. "We show strength, not cruelty. They will remember what it means to fight us, but they will also remember mercy. That is what makes us different. That is what makes us human." Across the galaxy, human diplomats worked tirelessly. Trade agreements were offered, colonies were protected, and species that had once feared humanity now sought alliance. It was a new order, not built on oppression but on respect, fear, and undeniable power. Chancellor Avalon's voice echoed throughout the Solar Dominion's capital on Earth. "The galaxy has forgotten humanity for too long. We were banished. We were mocked. We were exiled. But we have returned stronger than any empire imagined. Let every species know this. The Solar Dominion commands the stars. We protect those who respect us, we strike those who oppose us, and we will never be forgotten again." In the outer rim, fleets returned to their bases, repaired and replenished. Shipyards roared with engines as new ships launched to continue humanity's expansion. Scientists developed new technology faster than the Council could comprehend. Engineers tested weapons that combined energy, rail systems, and drone swarms into unstoppable combinations. For the first time, humanity controlled not just its own destiny, but the future of the galaxy. Every star system knew humans were no longer exiles. Humans were rulers. Even the Galactic Council could not resist the reality. They were forced to recognize the Solar Dominion as the legitimate power. They bowed in public, and private meetings were held to discuss treaties and surrender terms. The species that once ridiculed humanity now worked to gain favor. It was a bitter truth. The humans they had exiled, the humans they had thought weak and forgotten, were now their masters. Chancellor Avalon addressed the people of the Solar Dominion from the capital's tallest tower. His voice carried across Earth through colonies, through starship relays, reaching millions of humans across the galaxy. "People of humanity," he said, "we were banished, and the galaxy believed we would vanish. They called us weak. They laughed at us. They forgot us. But humanity endures. Humanity thrives. Humanity leads. Today, the Solar Dominion stands not just as survivors, but as the rulers of the stars. Remember this. We protect those who respect us. We strike only those who oppose us, and we will never, ever be forgotten." The crowd erupted in cheers. Human voices carried across the streets, through the colonies, through ships in orbit. Humanity had returned from the shadows. Humanity had built empires. Humanity had dominated the galaxy. Captain Mara Keen watched from the bridge of the Iron Rain, her eyes sweeping over fleets of human warships. The battle for recognition was over. The galaxy had learned the cost of underestimating humanity. Lieutenant Joran turned to her. "Do you think they will ever forget us now?" Mara smiled. "No, never. We were exiled, we were forgotten, but now, humanity rules. And the galaxy will remember us for all time." From the shadows of the forgotten regions to the shining capitals of the Galactic Council, humanity had proven one thing above all. Resilience, courage, and intelligence could turn even exile into empire. The Solar Dominion rose, not as a conqueror of destruction, but as a ruler of the galaxy. A force no one could ignore, a people no one could underestimate. The galaxy had trembled at humanity's return, and now it bowed. For the first time in millennia, humans were home, and they were masters of the stars.